I'm feeling really depressed right now. What would you say if one of your team members told you that? With 1 in 4 people now experiencing a mental health issue, depression is definitely something you will come across. And this is why it's important that you know exactly what to do, what to say, and how to provide the best support when it comes to depression. That's exactly what we'll cover in this episode. First off, depression is more than just being sad, because we all get sad from time to time, whether it's a breakup, an argument, stress at work, or anything else. And with that sadness feeling, we might have a glass of wine, eat a bit of crap, we might have no motivation, spend the day alone, and engage in a few negative behaviours. Now imagine the feelings you get with sadness and intensify them tenfold. That is depression, where the person can feel like they've literally been thrown down a hole of despair. They can feel pretty hopeless, it can zap them of all energy, it can strip them of joy. They might start to isolate themselves from the world, self-medicate, and engage in lots and lots of negative behaviours. And it can literally change them as a person. And this is why we want to support somebody with depression as best as we can. Here are 8 steps to have a supportive conversation around depression. Find a safe place. A place that's going to be quiet, confidential, and allows that person to feel comfortable to talk to you. It could even be outside going a walk. Now this could be done as soon as they tell you that they're depressed, or finding a suitable time that suits you both. Reassure the individual. Opening up about depression or any other mental health issues is not easy. So we want to reassure the individual that they've done the right thing by coming to you, reassure them that you're going to support them as best you can, and the workplace is going to support them as best you can, and also reassure them that what they say is going to remain confidential unless it puts them at serious risk or someone else. So always reassure. Ask relevant questions, as these will give you lots of information, help you guide the conversation, and provide the best support possible. So you can ask questions such as, can you tell me a bit more about these thoughts and feelings that you've been having and what you think might have caused all of this? And that can give you a good picture of the situation. You can ask, have you experienced thoughts and feelings like this before? And if they tell you that they have, you can ask them what helped them in the past. You can ask, how have you been looking after yourself recently? And they'll tell you if they've got basic necessities, food, shelter, clothing, when was the last time they saw someone, are they sleeping, are they eating well, are they exercising in any way? And give you lots of information that way. Now there are lots of open-ended questions that you can ask, and I'll show you my top 8 that I like to do now. Now you can also use closed questions, especially for somebody with depression, because they may have a limited capacity to give you an in-depth answer. So closed questions can also work, but I was making sure that they're relevant. So always ask relevant questions. Check for risk throughout the conversation. So with depression, there's a higher risk of suicide and self-harm. So it's important to listen intently for phrases such as, they feel like a burden, they feel hopeless, they're not sure what to do next, they have no purpose anymore, or anything else that indicates they are at a very, very low point. Now, where appropriate in the conversation, it's also important for us to ask the question, with these thoughts and feelings that you've been having, have you had any thoughts of self-harm or ending your own life? Now, if you ask this question relaxed and calmly, they will answer it in one of 3 ways. 1, they might say, no, nothing like that. 2nd could be a pause no, could look away, which may indicate that they have thought about it, and that may require a 2nd prompt. 3rd, they might say, yes, I have had thoughts of ending my own life. And that changes the conversation, and we've created a separate video of how to manage a crisis conversation. So always check for risk. Identify if the cause is work-related, personal, or both. If it's work-related, you may be in a position to do something about it. So the first protocol shouldn't always be to just sign someone off. Yes, there are cases where that be very beneficial for the individual, but once signed off, it can be very difficult to get some members back. So what we can do instead is look at what we could change in the workplace through reasonable adjustments. Now, reasonable adjustments have to work for the workplace and the individual, and what will work for one role may not work for another. So some examples include changing the working hours, allowing flexible working, reducing the workload, changing who they're working with, and anything else that can have a simple change to support that individual working. And if the cause is personal, we may still be able to support them by encouraging self-help strategies and also showing professional support that they can access. So always identify the cause and guide the conversation appropriately. Encourage self-help which is both realistic and achievable. Now, before providing any options, it's important to ask for the permission because nobody likes getting unsolicited advice. So we can say something like, with the thoughts and feelings you've been having, there are a few options we could look at for self-help if that's something you'd be prepared to do. And if they say yes, we could look at what they've said before in the conversation, what they need, and what they'd be prepared to do. And we can talk through some options with them. And when we're talking it through, we want to be suggestive rather than prescriptive. So let me give you a few examples. So let's say they've been eating crap for months. We can't just suddenly tell them eat chicken, rice and veg 7 days of the week, weigh everything MyFitnessPal. It's not realistic. Instead, we could say, could you drink 1 glass of water? Could you eat 1 piece of fruit? Those are quick, simple wins which can encourage other healthy behaviours. Another example, let's say they haven't left the house apart from going to work and they're not doing any exercise. We could say something like, could you go to your front door more often just to get some fresh air? Or could you walk to the end of the street and back? Or walk for 10 minutes? It's a quick, simple, achievable win which can build that momentum for them, build their motivation. Because somebody with depression, they've been in a losing mode for quite a while, unable to fulfill the things they did before. So giving these quick wins is so important. Again, build their momentum, build their motivation, show them they are capable, show them that they can achieve, and this can be so powerful for them. So always encourage self-help in the conversation. Encourage professional support. Now, most of you watching will not be a GP, a counsellor, psychologist, or any other mental health professional. So it's important to know where your scope of practice is and where it ends. And where it ends is where you should be signposting to professional organisations. And where you signpost are dependent on the conversation. What have they been saying and what do they need? So if they've been saying something about drugs and alcohol, could be frank. If they've been saying they need a listening service, Samaritans, more information, Mind, if they talk about debt, step change, and any other relevant organisations based on the conversation. Obviously there is their GP as well, and we want to state the expected waiting times, which can be 3 to 5 weeks. And it's important to have those accessible services in conjunction to their GP so they can get support right away too. And when we're providing the options, we don't want to just tell them to go Google it, because chances are they won't. Instead, we give them information very clearly. What's the name, the number, the website, and any other contact details. And this will help them access it if they choose to. So always encourage professional support. So those are my 8 steps to have a supportive conversation around depression. I do hope it's been useful, and if it has, please like, comment and share, as it helps it get seen by more managers so they know what to do in the mental health conversation. And if you're looking for any mental health training, please email me at matt@claritywalk.co.uk or visit our website www.claritywalk.co.uk/training. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you.